Hello, everybody. This is the last panel with our students. So, as you might know, the Bergen Exchanges has a PhD course that started actually like 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. And it was super intense. And now we have this panel with these prominent students from all over the place. But before I start, I just want to tell you that I am moderating this panel today because Ana Cortez, who is actually the one that coordinates the course, wasn't able to coordinate this year the course, so I did it. And thank you very much for all the support, because without Lara and Anna, I don't know how we could have dealt with all the system, the UiB and everything. So thank you. Yes. So also to let you know that this year we had a huge cohort, 30 students, PhDs and masters from more than 10 countries. The course had 22 faculty, 23 sessions, 2 weeks of intense work, 6 assignments, group and per individual assignments that we need to read through now, and the exchanges, which is the gathering and the exchange and all that happens that is just so crazy. And so the particularity of this PhD course is that we receive a lot of the feedback from the students, and that's why the panel is called Rethinking Student-Led Learning. And that's what we want to talk with you. To hear about your feedback, your experience. We had prepared some questions that I don't know if we're gonna do it, but we are going to have the last conversation of the day and of the exchanges. So we have 4 amazing students, PhDs and masters. So, okay, Neville Mupita from, correct me, but it's the SAI.
Yeah, it's the SAI project.
The SAI project, yes. Which is?
The Youth Against Anti-Rights, yes.
Mm-hmm. Andrew from UiB, right? PhD. Anshu Yadav from CRP, India. And Freudis, and I won't say your last name because it's impossible, from UiB too. So I wanted to ask you, and we will have a 2-round question. So first about the course. You have been in other graduate courses. I would like to ask you first, what is the innovative aspect of this PhD course, Effects on Lawfare, first, and second, what are the opportunities of this mobility program that makes you come to Bergen or meet people from other places in Bergen? So please feel free to answer whatever you want to answer.
Oh, so starting with me.
Yeah.
I think one thing about the course first, before we speak about the Bergen Exchange, was that the fact that we were allowed to express ourselves in a way that the ordinary class setup does not allow for. I think the break room sessions were very much interesting because we got to engage, in interdisciplinary conversations, understanding that there is certain times also where you would find that someone is doing something that is totally different. For example, I'm a legal scholar, and having a conversation with someone who has an anthropological background, you will find that there are intersectionalities in what we what we're having conversations on. But I think what I can find from what I can say that I found more interesting was the amount of articles that I would write after this Bergen Exchange, because I think there's more that I've learned. I think looking at things from an only legal perspective puts us in a sort of like in a box. But when you speak to other people, you get to experience how other people in the other fields see the world. So collaborations is one thing that I'm looking forward to. I've talked a lot, I think more than I've ever talked in my life, but this was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a very, very cool experience. It sort of kicked off on my end being put in a group with other people looking at Indigenous rights, and I got very lucky with my group mates. We were maybe a bit over-eager and started our assignments like 3 weeks before we were necessarily supposed to, but hey, they went well. But yeah, so part of why I got into the courses because I wanted to learn more of a legal perspective, because that's definitely a big blind spot in my own knowledge. And so it's been super interesting being in a room full of many, many lawyers this week, and in the Bergen Exchange, before the Bergen Exchanges as part of the course online. And yeah, learning a lot from lawyers has been unique and very, very exciting. But yeah, we had a great cohort, and it was also very, very nice working with so many women, which is something I picked up like maybe on the second day of the Zoom sessions. That was only like maybe 3 or 4 men on a lot of those calls, which is something that is maybe atypical, which is, you know, positive in many ways, but also it makes me a bit bummed out about men. that they don't have an interest in these more like critical reflections on the law and how things are made. So if go back to your universities and talk to the men in your political science and law departments and try to get them on board, trying to reflect on things a bit more. But yeah, that's what I have to say.
So I had a lot to say, and I have put together all of it in points because also we have to be on time. So the one thing is that I absolutely love about the course is that it's very mindfully put together in a very chronological order. So like the first class talks about certain things and the second class, and ultimately you feel like they all are very different topics, but towards the end of it everything starts making sense and everything feels like that they're connected, and we start making sense of the global challenges and that everything is connected, and that's what happened to me. So like the declining democracy, the suppression of protest and everything. The second thing that I really loved was that like for example there were so many challenges that are there in other parts of the world which I wasn't aware about, but very related and also very shared as well because I come from India. So and it was lovely to see that. The second thing, the last thing that I want to add is the opportunity of being mentored by such amazing people, and also the access to everyone. The conversations are so organic that you don't have to think about before approaching someone. You can just start a conversation at the break while eating the nachos and it will go well. So I have never seen that before earlier, so I would say that this is the best exchange or the best thing that I've participated in my entire student life. So yeah, that's all.
Yes, thank you. I think I agree with a lot of the things that has been said. I think it's nice that it's a huge variation in terms of the assignments. You have making a poster, project descriptions, group work. It's a lot of different formats and ways to be assessed, and I think that's nice because then you can get some experience with different stuff. And as an introvert and maybe some fellow introverts here, group work is maybe a bit daunting, but I think we made it through in a very nice way. And I think as part of that, I also enjoyed that we were grouped in terms of like research themes. So I was, for example, in a group focused more specifically on children and also religion. So that was a good way to connect with students that were working a bit on the same field to some extent. But it's also nice that you have like different, it might be a similar team but not the same. And we also have this different national context, and that's of course always a good thing. I think also as part of that, the connecting beforehand, before coming to the Bergen Exchanges, is very nice, because then you have some familiar faces, even though it's just through the screen, and then you see people you have seen online, and then it's easier to kind of introduce yourself and get to know each other better. And I also really enjoy the mentoring session. So, and that's a very, very nice opportunity that's part of the program, of course. So, yeah. And I also, the Bergen Exchanges, I think it's just so nice that you have this room for a lot of questions and comments, and that's a big part of the days. And then you get these different perspectives, and I think a lot of the value also lies in that. So not only the panelists, but also the contributions of all the people in the room.
Yeah, so you addressed a little bit of the goal also of the course is to create not only critical thinking, but also to create community and networks and the abilities to connect the struggles in different contexts. So I would like to ask how the exchanges, but also the exchange during the PhD course with the group assignments or other spaces that you have been able to connect with others that work on the similar struggles, and how do you go through those conversations, and is there something to look forward for future collaborations?
I think for me, coming from Africa, I think the whole part of it was always to think that, no, Africa, we have problems. But when you speak to people, you realize that we all have problems, but just contextual. I think having, like I said earlier, speaking to people from different fields has helped me a lot in the work that I'm currently doing, but also connecting to people that, because we are about to start our interview process for our project, and now we just recently found new contacts to actually engage with. I think in the part of collaboration, that's one thing that is already currently in the process of happening, in just a week of speaking to people. So the collaborations have started happening, which I think is a good thing for us. But I think future collaborations also is something that we're looking at doing. Now that we know who does what in what field, people connected on LinkedIn, so you know that at any point when you have something that you're working on and you want some advice or some inspiration, you know who to contact. I think that is, from my side, I think that is what's important, and keeping these contacts for the future, because you are young scholars. I think many times young scholars are not given the opportunity to shine, but also the doors are always closed. You try, there's bureaucracies and things. You try to reach out, via LinkedIn to someone you've never met before. It's a bit hard. But now we've met professors that will help us with this. And I'm like, hi, my name is Neville. We spoke about this on that day. Now it makes things better.
Yes, good. And a little side note is that part of the Psy group, there are other 3 persons, and some of them are in Vietnam, right?
Thailand.
Thailand,
Yes.
Thailand. So we want to say hello to them too, and we hope that they will also enjoy some kind of network
Definitely.
after the course. Andrew.
Yeah, I feel like Neville covered that pretty much completely. But now I have a good pool of lawyers to pull from. Next time I need help on that part of my work. But yeah, I just want to give compliments to Siri, Lara, and friends for making such a great network of academics here that are not just like great at their work, but just like great people generally. And I've been really feel like very fortunate to get to know some of you and hopefully see you next year.
I would say that there was like a lot that I didn't know about, and when I heard about the topics of everyone, it was really amazing to know all those things. Now I'm much more aware. And the second thing I would say is actually the entire course made me at least realize that there are a lot of things in the world which are connected, and ultimately we can't just be unbothered about them for a very long time. And as young researchers or students or aspirational scholars, we have to care about certain things, and when people at the panel talk about them so passionately, it helps you just get the point. Also, I would really appreciate that the Bergen Exchanges and the course provide such a safe space to everyone to talk about things that you can't talk about in general everywhere else in current times. So it's a very safe space, curated very mindfully. And I think that doesn't happen everywhere. So and knitting together all these people from different backgrounds, and then when we all come together and talk, it just helps in understanding things that were not making sense for at least people like me who are still young and trying to figure out what are the issues, why are these issues there, what can I do, how should I write about it, and things like that. So yeah.
I think I agree with Neville. I hadn't like the same things written down, especially about like now you know kind of who to reach out to if you have any questions about specific fields. And I think it's very useful that we have this like different backgrounds, and not just in terms of like countries and national context, but also different we're from different fields. So I'm a political scientist, but I also have a background in sociology, so you kind of meet a lot of different people. So it's nice to know who to reach out to, and like it also being returned so people can, now they know that if you're wondering something about children's participation, you can contact me or Camilla or yeah. So it's a nice part of the course.
And I want to add one more thing, that in terms of future prospects, I think I always used to wonder whether I want to do PhD or not, but after doing the course and seeing everyone who has either done their PhD or are doing their PhD, and now it's very intense, I have seen and people are telling me that, but I think I am quite 100% sure and confident that I would love to do my PhD.
And because this is a student-led learning process, please, is there anything that you in the floor want to add?
I just wanted to say thank you, Anna, for being there during all these weeks. You've gotten us through with care, and you're always nice, and you always respond to our messages, and it's been a lot for you, so thank you very much.
I would say I was very nervous coming into this. I am here because Rachel told me to be here. And so I, like in our first meeting, some of you have heard this story, in our first meeting, or the email that you sent, you were like, oh, we need to do a 90-second like elevator pitch about our project. And I was like, what project? What do you mean project? And so I came in with a lot of anxiety and felt like I am Rachel has picked me up and dropped me into the deep end, and it's just like, go swim, you'll be fine. And it turned out fine. this has been a very supportive environment. I've gotten a lot of really helpful feedback. I've had a lot of really great conversations. I've loved everyone that I've met. It's just been a very cool conversation, like experience to have, and probably the very best way that I could start my PhD. So like, strongly recommend to anybody else. But yeah, I've really appreciated everyone's contributions and getting to learn about their research and think about things from different perspectives. So this has been really enriching. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think the panel was fantastic. Thank you all. You said everything that I would have wanted to say, but I think, yeah, I think there was, like, in the application, there's, like, objectives or what you're hoping to achieve, and I must say I have been super grateful that all of my objectives have been met, if not exceeded, and you know, everyone's been so fantastic to speak to and to learn from. I know I was thirsty for methods. I was wondering if my topic made sense and how I'm intending to approach it made sense. And, you know, for me specifically, having been out of school for a while, I think I finished my master's in 2019, then I went to work. As a part-time student, I think I was like craving somewhat of a cohort, and this has been a fantastic space for that, meeting people that are further along in the PhD process as early on as I am in it. And it has been an exchange in the true sense of the word, people bringing themselves really generously and having so much to take back as well in terms of material, literature, contacts. I mean, I never thought I'd hear about mindfulness and judging, you know, like, and that's what Malcolm was speaking about yesterday. So these are like really beautiful things, and I just want to thank you all, Lara as well, Anna, Siri, and everyone else. Like, there's students here that study here that have been taking so much care of us, taking pictures and stuff. So thank you. I think thank you to each and every one of you. As Lynn said, we've been so well taken care of. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for the wonderful experience, honestly. And one thing, like yesterday we went to have dinner with Lara, who both brought me and Italian to a pizza restaurant, but that was a successful experience, so we can take that. But she asked me what I liked about the course, and one thing that I really loved is the fact that all of, or most of the questions that were done in the stage did not have an answer. Because for me, as a junior scholar, for example, if a senior scholar is going to tell me an answer, I would take kind of that for granted. While if the questions are not answered, I have more room for free thinking and just to see for liberal thinking and whatever. So I really did enjoy that part. And of course, meeting all of you and the human side of the course as well. Like, literally, I was kind of crying when I saw that you brought flowers to everyone that helped in the other venue, because that's not something that has to be taken for granted. It's like the human side, it's amazing, honestly. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Lara.
I just really wanted to say thank you all for everything, because this has been an amazing 3 weeks. I mean, it had been a while since I had been so immersed in learning in a very free and welcoming way. So I really wanted to thank all of you for that. And I just wanted to say that I really hope we all keep in touch, because this has been an amazing experience. Before coming here, I was talking to my supervisor, Marta Machado, who used to come, I mean, she's a little busy now, but she used to come here all the time, and my fellow colleagues from FGV, they would always come and they would go back and tell me, like, Natalia, you have to start your PhD soon because you're missing out. It's this, the Bergen Exchanges is like the peak of our PhD experience, and now I've seen it with my own eyes and I felt it with my heart, and I'm so grateful for that. And thank you so much for everything.
So now that we are talking, I was thinking about two things. Is that also, so this is, we take care of students, of course, and we also try to take care of the professors too. And there's many of you here, I see you, and I wanted to ask you if you have also a feedback to provide on the form and the content of the course as professors. I don't know, maybe, but maybe not.
maybe everyone who has been teaching in the course, who are thinking So, Luciana, and of course, many are not here this year, exactly. So you already have to leave.
Hi everyone, Satang. And I'll stand since I'm very short. I just wanted to say, as somebody who has been on the aisle on both sides, I attended 2 of the PhD course, so that was unique because it's special. But also have had the opportunity over the years, both in terms of during the research project, the doctoral research project, to be able to share my experience, but also very recently as well, to spotlight and say thank you to Anna. The emails were very detailed. The guidance were very great. I mean, she sent me and I was like, what do you want? And then she gave me examples and, and all of that. And thank you for stepping up, obviously, in the absence of the honor Ada as well. But I mean, in terms of form, I was very much grateful for the opportunity as somebody perhaps closer in terms of age to have the opportunity to really share. And I did obviously, I mean, I was privy to the session that I was engaged in, but just the fact that you could have more of the theoretical or the conceptual presentations and engagement in the class, but also then have the method section that was more in terms of what, especially as I said, my own PhD was like a group project for the Bergen Exchanges. And so having that opportunity to be able to share with the students, obviously the time wasn't enough because I also do talk a lot. And the students were great. I mean, they were fantastic examples from the US as well as other contexts as well. So I mean, for me, I think more opportunities for folks that have also completed the PhD course, have gone on to do other things, to have the opportunity to share their experiences, because I think that is great for students as well, just to see that. But again, fantastic work on all ends. Thanks.
All of us.
And because I want to go to Brazil.
Thank you, Saptan. You're so nice. No, for me, I think it was wonderful experience. I have been doing it for quite some time, some years, and it always amazes me to see the project that I hear in the sessions of project discussions, and then seeing you all here and discussing and making friends and being happy and seeing the party and seeing city and how it is done. I think it's always a great week. For me, it's a great experience, and I'm sure for you as well. So I'm really happy to be part of the family. So that's it.
I think for me, what's interesting is I have often thought, so I've done this now 3 years in terms of contributing to the course and contributing a graduate student. And I think I started out thinking, oh, these were supposed to be more advanced, people, deep into their dissertations, of which it can be, but it also can be early on. And so the last few years, it's been that, and I think I'm really starting. I point to Candela because she came last year, and she had just completed her first year of graduate school and PhD program and got a ton out of it. And then I went one step further, and Lauren hadn't even started. We were trying to recruit her, and I thought, ooh, I've got something fancy I can have her go to. But and I thought, no, I think she'll hit the ground running, right? Because she already does have she's you know, despite what she thinks, like she is well prepared, right, to kind of jump right in. And so I think that's what's so wonderful about this course is I see graduate students on the whole continuum of where they are in their own degree, and they're still all getting something out of it. And that means because again, it's the nature of, you know, the real architects behind it, which Siri, I'm shout out to you, you know, that keeps coming back. And I think all of us keep trying to reflect after every single year that we teach it, how can we make this better? And so it's wonderful hearing these comments here. And I think we still will keep tweaking it, right?
Yes, so we also want, how can we do it better?
Yeah, exactly, right?
We love the phrase.
Right.
Well, how can we do it better?
Exactly.
But can I also just mention?
Yes, yeah, here you go. Are you ready?
So I want to just call on Livia. You just raise up. Because that is one of the most extraordinary things that have happened in the last years. And that is that after one of the, I mean, Livia has also been like taking the PhD course, helping out with teaching, doing all, everything, many of them. But Livia is also from FGA in Brazil. And 2 years ago, she was like, we need to publish. PhD students need to publish, and the young researchers. So she created a South-South network of PhD students and young scholars. And they already published one special issue of a journal, and now they're like on 2 different new books or something. And it's just amazing, and that came very organically out of the PhD course. And the one reason why I'm saying that is that this is something that you can also do. And I think that this, because LawTransform and the Bergen Exchanges is like a profoundly collective experience. Everyone can use it. Everyone can be it, and everyone can use it. So, and particularly young people. And so Livia is there. I mean, we have many stars. So many. But I think that is just an experience that is just it's very much part of the PhD course, and it's a big inspiration to us and to, I think, many.
Yeah, and the other thing that I was thinking is that many of you too have been in the past former PhD students, but you are again here. So what makes you come back?
What makes you come
Carolina.
back? No, you need to say, what made you stay? You came for the PhD course, and that's 4 years ago.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Hi. Well, yes. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were mention me, but I'm really grateful again as everyone else. But I think I'm excited for having the chance to learn for so many people and having intergenerational dialogues and learning from people in a more like horizontal space that I don't feel so, overwhelmed or a little bit insecure. There are this thing with academic conferences that sometimes could be like a real challenge for young scholars that maybe we are out of the picture sometimes, especially if you are seen as just a PhD student, right? So I think during the Bergen Exchanges, a part of learning too much, you can also exchange with people from your same field. For me, I was really looking forward Tuesday because it was the gender day and then the reproductive justice panel. So, I also have the kind of the conversations that I'm looking forward to. But a part of that, I think, looking at the posters of the PhD students was super inspiring. I think you were also bringing so many innovative questions and brilliant interventions and amazing presentations. So I think the quality of the PhD students this year was really amazing. And congrats for that, because I think you bring a lot of energy and incredible questions all the time. So it's really an exchange in that sense. And I hope you can be in touch. And maybe that it could be something at PhD Students Network, all the people that have been from different years and not miss contact after this. So yeah, keep going, people. And I hope we can continue coming next year. That's it.
Hi, thank you, everyone. It's been absolutely great. I'm not going to repeat all the wonderful things, well-deserved things that just said. But to answer the question, two main things I really enjoyed about here. The first one was the non-regional focus for me, as I'm a PhD student in the US. So for those who don't know the US, we think the only thing that exists on Earth is the US. Nothing else exists outside of the US. Maybe south of the US a little bit exists sometimes. Other than this, nothing. So to have that window on Europe and what's happening in the other places, that was very good, this non-regional focus. It's been absolutely amazing. Loved it. One advice though, slow down a little bit on the Brazilian gang. That would be like this Brazilian. That would be great. I love my Brazilian colleagues. I love all of them. They're great. Yes. It's been great. The second thing, I think there was this a beautiful balance between academic and non-academic experiences. And this is in my academic universe. I think Rachel will agree. We just so focused on academic research and academic production. So we sometimes miss a lot of the practitioner, real life, real world experiences that knowledge that other practitioners produce. We tend to ignore this a little bit. So sitting here and listening to all of like those amazing organizations that do similar work from a practitioner perspective and public policy perspective, I think that was a wonderful. I don't know if I was going to ask for a little bit more of this, but I do know if more of this, as like I kind of like evaluate my thought, if that will be too much, like academics will dislike it, if that's too much practitioner, I don't know, but I enjoyed it so much, and I think if I listened to 2 or 3 more of that, I wouldn't be bored. I would have loved it actually. So that was amazing. And last thing I would say, just to thank the organizers. So it's been like 100% women-led efforts. Oh, that is.
She's very bored.
See? Yeah. Yes. So thank you so much for, I think there's like, they say like there's something of like many countries represented here, so organizing all of those time frames and time works and all of those things, that's very impressive. So thank you. Looking forward to coming back.
Okay, so hello. This is actually my 3rd time in Bergen within the last year. So within a year, this is the 3rd time I come here. I live in the United States, so pretty far away. But it's just such a pleasure. I was thinking, I also didn't know I was going to get called up, so I was trying to come up with something new that other people haven't said. It's not completely new, but I would like to say 2 things, or maybe 3 things. So first, last year I was a first-year student, and it was very daunting to me. It was something similar to what Lauren said when I was asked, like, what is your project? I was like, project. And so I was pretty terrified, and something that I really, it amazes me of Bergen is that it's so welcoming. I don't feel sort of the same daunting sensations that sometimes you get if you go to, like, let's say, big conferences like APSA or ISA. I think especially for people who are from a marginalized group, so be that women or people of color, and I think that's something extremely special about Bergen. It feels like a very safe space, and also to from different perspectives, right? So people that might work on feminist theory or post-colonial theory. I think sometimes in big conferences that is you expect some sort of person in the corner that is going to be, quite critical, and as a young scholar, that can be very scary. And so that is, I don't feel that here. I think it's a very safe space. And I think right now, as an international student living in the US, that is something that is just I appreciate so much, right? To not have to think about what I'm going to say next. So that's one thing. The second thing I want to say, I got a little emotional, so now I'm blanking out, actually. But so Sam was there in March, so we met in March. We have kept in touch. Carolina as well. We have a group chat, and it's not very active, but it's there. So I feel like if we had an idea to collaborate, we could. So definitely the networks that we're creating is something that is also very helpful, I think, for PhD students at any point in our careers. So that is also wonderful. And just the second thing I wanted to say before, that it just came up to me, is probably a very big thing as well, that is just, it's so inspiring to come here. There's so many different topics that I had never thought about. I think that has been mentioned before. It's so eclectic in a way. There's so many issues that we discuss from so many perspectives. And so every time I come, I just get so excited every single day, and I'm like taking notes, and I need like a week after I go back to like think about it. And every time I come to Bergen, I just come back extremely motivated to think about a dissertation topic or do whatever I need to do as a PhD student who wants to be a scholar. So I know this is not, I didn't give any ideas for improvement, but so sorry about that, but I didn't know I was going to be put on the mic. So maybe next time. Good. Thank you so much for having us here, as always.
So actually, you will receive a form, an evaluation form, and everything that you didn't say publicly, you can write it anonymously, okay? So we will receive the feedbacks, yes, and we will try to adapt them. And we are on time, and just also because this was a huge organization, I want to thank the volunteers, yes, that were doing the PhD course. Sorry, yes. Julia, thank you. Sofia, thank you. Larissa, thank you. Yeah, I think that was it. No, Camila. Where is Camila? Camila.
This has been an extraordinary cohort of PhD students, both in the way you've engaged from the floor and when you've been on stage. Extraordinary. So inspiring to those of us who it's been a long time since we were PhD students. But it's very, very inspiring, and learning a lot. You're going to get cups.
Of course.